You got 5 minutes with Alex Hormozi. You pitched the vision, you sold the dream, and you lost him before the meeting even started. Not because your idea was bad, not because your numbers were weak, but because you made a specific mistake that this type of person interprets as incompetence. We're going to extract exactly what happened and what you do instead, at least with this archetype. We'll start with the hardware. Hormozi's morphology points toward an execution-first operator with unusually high confrontation tolerance and a strong bias toward reality testing. Alex processes information physically and immediately. He does not sit with abstractions. He tests them. His deep-set eyes indicate that he is calculating, highly observant, and running a continuous threat assessment on everyone in the room. To complement this, Hormozi's morphology also indicates high dominance, low compromise, and higher risk tolerance, not someone who softens conclusions. The public perceives Alex Hormozi as aggressive, blunt, and even intimidating, but that is just the surface read, and it is incomplete. The real architecture underneath is a reality testing operator. He is not trying to dominate you. He is running a diagnostic. Every question he asks is a probe. Every pushback is a filter. He is not evaluating your conviction. He is evaluating whether the market agrees with you. That distinction should change your entire approach. Now cross-reference the face against the behavioral record. The initial read holds under pressure. When Hormozi encounters a stalled variable, he does not retreat. He escalates. He has documented this himself. He views yielding as structural weakness. But here's where it gets precise. The lateralization tells a more layered story. The right side, the public mask, projects unyielding focus and a tightly controlled commercial aggression. The left side, slightly more dilation around the eye, softer musculature at the mouth, reveals a more receptive internal baseline than the exterior suggests. He is not purely rigid. The armor is performance, maintained at a very significant energy cost. What does that mean behaviorally in real-life interactions? Under genuine mechanical alignment, when someone speaks his language fluently, Hormozi's defensive wall does not need to stay up. He becomes collaborative and rapidly. The behavioral record confirms this. When founders bring raw data, such as failed tests, isolated variables, unvarnished friction, he engages deeply. When they bring narrative, he disengages immediately. This appears less like a conscious preference and more like an automatic filtering mechanism. Here is where most operators destroy themselves. The standard playbook says, build rapport first, demonstrate passion, sell the vision, seek feedback, get emotional buy-in. With this architecture, every single one of those moves registers as a weakness signal. Passion reads as volatility. Vision reads as unverified theory. Seeking feedback reads as external dependency. Here are 3 specific failing strategies you'd be tempted to employ on operators like Alex Hormozi, and why they fail at the structural level. First, selling the dream. You explain the market opportunity. You explain why customers love it. You explain your mission. You are speaking fluently, and he has already stopped processing, because this architecture evaluates whether reality agrees with you, not whether you believe in yourself. Passion is not a variable he can test, so it is discarded. Second, asking for validation. You might say, "What do you think of this?" Does that resonate? This is standard rapport behavior. With an Alex Hormozi, it is an immediate authority collapse. He operates through observable market testing, seeking his theoretical approval signals that you need external conviction, which means you do not have internal conviction. That categorization is almost impossible to reverse. The third mistake is defending the product over the process. Retention comes in low. Instead of isolating the variable, you defend the product. You explain why the market does not understand it yet. That response tells him one thing: you are emotionally enmeshed with the outcome. You cannot process objective reality without defending your identity. Uncoachable. The interaction ends, even if he keeps talking. If you already recognize someone in your environment running this architecture, a boss, a senior partner, a high-value prospect, The free brief in the description maps the 4 foundational behavioral baselines that govern how people process information and make decisions under pressure. 4 archetypes, an immediate PDF to your email. It is free, the link is below. Here are 3 asymmetric tactics grounded directly in Alex Hormozi's documented behavioral record. First, lead with operational failure, not operational success. Open by naming a specific bottleneck or a failed variable in your current process. Then state the isolated test you are running to resolve it. This is counterintuitive because every social instinct says to lead with wins, but this architecture runs continuous fraud detection. A perfect narrative triggers suspicion immediately, presenting unvarnished friction signals that you are a data processor, not a salesman. His defenses lower immediately and starts engaging with the mechanics instead of filtering for deception. Second, return data silently. If he challenges a metric or suggests a variable to test, execute it and return the raw result without commentary. No narrative, no framing, just the number and what it implies. This mirrors his documented operating rhythm. He has built entire businesses on isolated variable testing. When you match that rhythm without being asked, you have shifted the dynamic. You are no longer a supplicant seeking approval. You are a functional operator running a shared experiment. Third, when he applies pressure, absorb it flat. Do not explain, do not defend, do not raise your vocal cadence. Acknowledge the math. State the corrective variable. Move forward. Imagine you are a sales executive presenting to him. A metric misses. His questioning becomes aggressive. Every instinct says to protect credibility by contextualizing. Do not. The pressure is not an attack, it is an audit. Your emotional steadiness under that pressure is the variable he is actually measuring. Most people fail here not because the numbers are wrong, but because they cannot stay objective when the outcome threatens their identity. Flat absorption of pressure is one of the highest trust signal this architecture recognizes. Running the wrong playbook on an Alex Hormozi in your life will not produce neutral results. It produces active resistance, disengagement, and a permanent categorization that you cannot recover from in that interaction window. Guesswork is expensive when the stakes are real. If you have someone like this in your environment, a high dominance operator, a reality testing decision maker, or a prospect who evaluates evidence over enthusiasm, the full behavioral extraction is available at the link in the description and at stratintel.io. If there's someone in your life whose decisions determine outcomes you care about, a prospect, executive, partner, investor, or rival, you don't have to operate blind. Submit your target to Strata Intel. Within 48 hours, you'll receive a behavioral extraction identifying their communication triggers, decision architecture, pressure responses, and interaction landmines. The link is below.